All right, good people, welcome and good evening, or wherever you are at. I send my greetings to you globally. I'd like to welcome you guys to another podcast episode of the Chit Chat Chew Show. I'm one of the co-hosts, Aisha, or you can call me Jade, and the other co-host over next to me is.
Uno. I'm the other co-host, Uno. That's what everyone calls me. We're gonna have another great show, as always. Excuse me, guys. Let me pick up something here.
Okay, so it is raining and it's just a lot going on here in the Atlanta area. It's been raining all day. We were out there in that weather. It was just rain can either for me put me in a good space or it could put me in a bad space. And it just happened today to put me in a little bit of a moody space. I won't say like bad, angry space, but moody and very tired. Yeah, so I had to get out here today with Uno, do what we had to do, then come in and just
Put me in a sleepy space.
yeah, it was really tiresome. So but as Uno said, we have another great show for you guys. Hopefully some of you will tune in with us this evening, and just want to make sure I'm good. Okay, and tune in this evening. So one of the topics that I'm going to start off with is okay, let me quickly. We are every Monday, unless otherwise noted, every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 to 7 Pacific Standard Time, or wherever you guys are at, you can kind of figure that out what your time zone is, basis what our time zone is. So again, we're going to be talking about like a black girl recovers from first-degree burns in Philly after her hair was set on fire by a classmate. We're going to talk about a black woman who died by Florida medics neglecting her medical care. And then the more, I believe, recent one, the Pittsburgh shooter who shot in the synagogue church. So I'm going to start off with...
My tablet is acting funny right now.
Okay.
Oof, man.
I know. When it rains here, I tell you, technology just acts up extra. But we're going to move forward.
Yes, let's definitely move forward. It's okay. Go with the flow.
Best that we can and go with the flow. So the topic I'm going to start off with, or conversation, is Florida woman dies after medics allegedly assumed she couldn't afford an ambulance. And this is coming from the ebony.com. So this was back in July 27th, 2018. So the mother of a Tampa, Florida woman who died said she had to rush her daughter to the hospital after paramedics allegedly told her they couldn't afford insurance, according to ABC Action News reports. Nicole Black discovered her daughter, Crystal Galloway, who just had her son via C-section a few days before her death, slumped over the bathtub in her apartment. Black said she called 911 and told the dispatcher that something was wrong with her daughter, but that she was still breathing. She said when the paramedics finally arrived, they told her that Calloway appeared to have suffered a stroke, and then told her she couldn't afford the ride. She feels that she was discriminated against, according to ABC Action News. The whole conversation as the EMS drivers put my child in my car was best for us because we couldn't afford an ambulance, she said, according to ABC Action News. My daughter begged for her life. She begged. The Hillsborough County Administrator, Mike Merrill, said that the four medics did not do their jobs properly, per ABC Action News. According to the Tampa Bay Times, the paramedics never got Black to sign the required informed consent form and said that patient could not be found in their logging system. which Merrill says was a falsification of records. I cannot trust these individuals to work under my medical license, Merrill said in a statement to the Tampa Bay Times. I feel they do not meet the minimum standards set by myself and the department. The county has suspended the 4 medics identified by the Tampa Bay Times as Lieutenant John Mike Morris, who's 36, Fire Medic Justin Sweeney, 36, and Fire Medic Andrew J. Martin, 28, and Acting Lieutenant Courtney Barton, 38. A disciplinary hearing, pop-ups, gotta love them. A disciplinary hearing is scheduled for July 31st per Tampa Bay Times. Black said that her daughter was in a coma for days before she passed away. She's 30 years old and just graduated from college. She had her whole life ahead of her. Black said about her daughter you can tell me you're sorry, you can give me your condolences, but you still have to work this out with God. So that was the mother speaking for her daughter Crystal, again, who was 30 years old, who had not too long ago had a baby, C-section. She had finished college. She had a life ahead of her. And these fools
cut short
because
of these fools. Racist fools. Let's just put that R word in there. I mean, like you said, it always comes down to race.
It's just really sad. This young lady had to lose her life over dumb shit. And this happens. Okay, so before anybody says, well, no, this happens. Truths are coming out.
And people are truly...
And they are showing true colors.
How they really feel about
how they really feel. It's just a shame. I don't know why people in general, and we just talked about this real briefly, because I just happened to just kind of be strolling in my through my Twitter or through our Twitter. I don't even remember what page it was coming on. I think it was a Chit Chat Chew Show page. And me and Uno just was talking about, so Michelle that used to be in Destiny's Child, Michelle Williams, who was in Destiny's Child with Beyonce and, all that. Her and her fiance to be, I guess they're going through some counseling before they get married, right? So I believe that she came out not too long ago and said that she suffered from mental disorder. I can't remember what her diagnosis is, but she came forth and said that. So her husband is Caucasian, okay? And they recently had an episode on OWN. And they were talking about how, Michelle was talking about how, he couldn't identify with being a black person or a person of color, right? So his statement back to her was, it went further than that, but his statement to her was, well, did you take your meds? So they're doing this, they're doing this in their episode. I guess they were just having conversation, right? And I feel like, you do you. Regardless of what my personal opinions are, you do you, because at the end of the day, you got to be happy and satisfied with what relationship you in, be it straight or non-straight. But interracial relationships are very big. I'll admit, I've done some dating outside of my race. Okay, I sure did. So, like I said, to each his own. You got to figure that out for yourself. If it makes you happy, good. But there's going to be times, I feel like, Michelle, when you're going to have conversation and your mate is not going to understand the culture that you come from, right? And he makes a statement and says, well, I don't see color. Personally, I feel like he didn't call her the N-word several times, but we're not going to hear that. They're not going to probably put that public. So it's covered up with him being stupid and ignorant and rude by you know, speaking about her mental disorder that he's aware of to hurt her. And I just feel like anybody can have, how I want to put it, anybody can have, it could be any relationship, but it's more so I'm finding from hearing real people who are in interracial relationships that conversations, boy, they go way left.
They get heated.
And they get heated. So race is mattering. It would be wonderful to say all of our lives matter, but who the hell am I kidding? All lives do not matter. My life matter, okay? Uno's life matter. My family's lives matter, as well as Uno's immediate family lives matter. But let's just be realistic with it. We can smile and we can kind of brush it off and let's not talk about it because it's an uncomfortable conversation to talk about. But you know, at the end of the day, if you say something, they're going to come back and they're going to come back hard and they're not going to worry about what name, being disrespectful, calling you out of your name and none of that. Can I say all? No, I'm not going to say all, but I'm definitely going to say a lot. So I'm just saying you just have to be mindful and careful and perhaps get yourself prepared. So yeah, my life matter. And again, I've dated outside of my race. I've never been in a relationship, but I have dated outside of my race. Just my choice once upon a time. And at the end of the day, truth be told, it was cute for what it was at the time, but long term, now I know, no, I don't see it just because I'm really in a different place versus where I was. And again, do I knock it? I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying it's your choice. It's your choice to do what you got. It's your choice to do what you want to do. That's all I'm saying. And no, before anybody want to fix it in their damn mind, am I racist? No. Because if I was, I really wouldn't even be bothered with nobody. I'd be a damn monk in some mountain somewhere. So we just have to face facts for what it is, and we have to go with it. So I just want to say that a little bit. But coming to this young lady right here, it's just really sad how they discriminated her because they thought or felt, based on I don't know what the hell what, that she couldn't afford it. Okay, there's plenty of people that can be in the ambulance and something happens, they just bill your ass.
Yeah, I thought that was the procedure.
You know,
if you can afford insurance, you just bill them.
Right, and you go to the social worker in the hospital and you ask for, you know, if I'm thinking if there was an issue as far as insurance, there are social workers or case managers in the hospital that should be able to assist with you with that hospital bill. That's what I thought, but I'm taking a guess, and I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, please forgive me, but I'm thinking, if not all, most of these individuals were white.
It had to be.
And if they wasn't, they still stupid and ignorant. Either way, it's just dead ass wrong. So that's just my little spill to start off. I'm gonna drink on my tea. See that? See that dog lover? This is not my cup. This is her cup, but dog lover.
Because I love dogs.
But I love dogs too, but we switched up.
Yeah, I love dogs too. I love animals in general. I mean, some of them I won't even go near. Or I'm scared of them, but will I mistreat them? No. Animals all have a purpose. So I tell you one thing, I like animals more than people. I'll take an animal over a person any day. That's just me though. But this whole situation with the black woman in Florida who dies after the medic's negligence, yes, that was a race issue. I mean, that's obvious. And then they're in Florida at that. So that's like, if we're talking about the United States, I mean, that's one of the most racist states, you know. I mean, because you have quite a few places all around the United States are like that. But, I mean, it's everywhere. But Florida, you're always hearing something about a race issue. There's racial tension, you know, some race relation comes up. It's just really unfortunate. I mean, I'm not excusing nobody's ignorance. because that really was just damn ignorant. But I understand why they're doing it. I mean, if we're talking in their minds, or this is any white person, I don't care who the hell, female, male, young, old, it's really a survival thing for them. And a lot of them feel threatened. A lot of them always feel threatened. And I guess their only way of dealing with it is being, disrespectful and not including us and discriminating against us and being prejudiced. And even in the social space, they come off a certain way, or even in a political space or any kind of space, they come off a certain way because of their own personal ignorant reasons. But I mean, that woman died over something real stupid. That was just stupid. Because like Jay said, they could have just billed her. Regardless of what their personal feelings are about black people, okay, whatever. Because if a black person did the same thing, you wouldn't hear the end of it. If some black people denied a white woman her medical service, you wouldn't hear the end of it. But it's funny how, well, this story is, a few years old, right? Because
it's a few months. It was 2018.
Okay.
So it's a few months back. No, you're good.
A few months old, excuse me. But it's obvious you didn't hear too much about it.
Right.
Let's make that clear too.
True. So you didn't hear a whole lot about it.
No.
It was out and that was
disappeared. And that was
and it disappeared.
Again, it goes back to race. It always goes back to race. I don't care what you white people say. Every little thing go back to race. Just how this story was handled, even how the media didn't push it as much, and how the difference would be if this is a white woman, they got mistreated and discriminated against because of her race and the color of her skin. And just how the medics handled the situation with this black woman, that still goes back to race. So that racism will never go away. We have been established this. We've been dealing with this for 400 years. Nothing has changed at all. But I do notice though, it really has escalated. It's really going to a whole new level now that Trump's in office. So all these white people feeling themselves now because, they got their little great white hope now. Now they can really come out and be themselves. But just know you got life effed up. Because you think it's going to go one way and it's not going to go the way you think it is. Because every black person not going to put up with that at all. At all. And the mother of the Florida woman, I hope she sues them. Because she can really take a left if she wanted to. And I'm not talking about verbal. I'm talking about physical. She could really take a left over the loss of her child.
Right.
And I feel like she have a right to if she felt that way. Can't nobody tell her how she should feel. Oh, why did she shoot those white people? Well, how would you feel if someone took the life of your child? We don't know how someone will handle the situation. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just saying you got to think about, something that was taken away from her that's, that came from her. That's her seed, a person that she's supposed to, vow to protect and make sure she's always okay. And that's her blood, So if any of us lost a family member to a white person, I mean, we have a right to feel how we feel. The same reason if we killed one white person's family members, they have a right to feel the way they feel. So it works both ways. Now, Michelle Williams' situation and that white guy she's dating, it goes back to the same thing, race. Because again, I mean, you brought up him speaking about her mental illness, and he talking about he's offended about certain things she said as far as race, black and white, which is true.
She was just if that's your fiance, you should be able to have all types of different conversations and be able to agree to a disagree, to be able to handle it. But to beat her up just because she said, we do come from different cultures, so there are things that Caucasian or European people do, as well as there, as far as anybody. And a disclaimer for me, it could be anybody. It just happened to be right, as you were saying, you know, these white people hurting what they did to this black woman. You could be white, black, whatever background or race you come from. If you mess with minds, they might as well have a jail cell waiting and ready, because I'm going to be there. But we're specifically speaking on this particular topic. And like I said, primarily, it seems like they're all white, even though they're not saying it. If they're not, okay, still for me, wrong is wrong. You did that woman wrong. Right. And you're right. Like, what about
with Michelle Williams?
And the same thing with Michelle Williams.
I feel like her whole situation, the way he handled it was wrong. I mean, honest. And see, that's the thing. This is why it's so uncomfortable to have these conversations, because there's never going to be a solution. Because white people are not going to admit the things they've done to black people, and they're still currently doing to black people. And there's white people who might not have been responsible for their ancestors' doings, but they're benefiting off it. And they still practice those racist mindsets to this day. And I'm not saying all are aware of it, but mostly of them are aware of what they're doing. Now, the situation with Michelle Williams, he shouldn't have been offended. You know, that's just what it is. It's not how she felt. That's just what it is. That's just what she's going to go through as a black woman and being a black person in America. So he should at least try to have some understanding, or at least try to, just see her point of view, because it's not easy. And for him to throw her mental illness in there, they ain't got nothing to do with the hell of her struggle as a black woman. That has nothing to do with just because she expressed herself. And that's another thing I can't stand. Every time a black woman expresses herself, and even black men, because y'all guilty for this shit too. Every time a black woman expresses herself, it's got to be something wrong with her. Why did it always have to be something wrong with her? How come she can't just express herself? Why it has to be, she's being aggressive, she's being difficult, angry black woman? I mean, come on, man. Come on. If she's just having a platform to express herself, whether that's to a person, or on a social media platform, or a news platform, whatever platform it is, there's a lot of things she goes through, just like as a black man goes through what he goes through. But I'm saying, you can't perceive it as angry all the time just because she says it a certain way that you feel like she should say it. The same reason why black men get mad about stuff that happens in the world when it comes to race. So how come when a black woman do it, it's wrong? And that's just my problem from black man to black woman. But even the same thing with white man to black woman. Like, yeah, I mean, because I'm sure in his mind he took it that way. That's why he said, "Oh, you're on your meds." He probably thought she was mad, angry, going off the deep end, and that's probably not what she was trying to do. She was just expressing herself, the frustrations that she go through being a black woman in America. But so to sum all this up, there's a lot of things that just need to change. And in order for that to happen, people got to be honest with themselves and not trying to affect everybody's lives with their ignorance. So, because if this is going to keep going on, cycle, because it's been going on, ain't stopping. If this keep going on, more tragic situations will happen, or unfortunate situations will happen, just like this sister here from Florida. But it's not a winning battle, honestly. But until people change, nothing will change. That's all I gotta say to that.
Yeah. Thank you, Jamie, for showing us love. And thanks, Bree, for tuning in as well.
Thanks, Jamie and Bree.
Appreciate you guys. So yeah, it's just, everybody has different opinions on it, and that is what it is. One person in this, and they had mixed views coming from all individuals. And then you have to, and then also she had the baby. So my heart goes to this little baby that she had, that he or she no longer has a mother. And so more than likely the grandmother's going to have to take care of the baby. Hopefully the father and the father side will be a part of this child's life as well. I'm not going to sit here and go all into that. Hopefully he will. But this child no longer has a mother. He or she lost their mother at 30 years young. That is young. She still had a long life ahead of her. Right. Oh my God, like, this is crazy. So yeah, different people are saying that, the paramedics should be fired. Other people are saying, they're talking about the health care. Someone else was mentioning, why is this about money? Just things of that nature. So my heart go out to the mother, my heart go out to that little baby, and anyone that is affected by this, because this is sad, and this goes on all places, not just Florida, all places. Someone was speaking about, they're from Texas, and things like this happens in Texas. So it happens all over.
Yes,
it happens all over. But I hope this mother, for the sake of her and her daughter and her family, seeks justice, whatever that looks like for her.
Now, if she seeks street justice, she'd be wrong, right?
She probably would in their eyesight, of course.
But how is that when they're the ones that killed her daughter? Shouldn't she feel the way she feel?
I mean, she has the right to feel like she want to feel.
Just like if someone harm a cop, right? What happens?
Oh yeah.
Best believe they're coming after you.
They coming after
you.
And
they're mad.
And they're mad. And say, if it's a black person that kills a white cop, you better believe that that black man or black woman is going to be shot down.
Yep.
Okay. And if they're not shot down, they're gonna be in jail for the rest of their life. And,
right, in critical condition.
In critical condition for the rest of their life. So
that's the same thing.
It's crazy.
Just like the cops feel that's their little right to feel that way. Just like it's a black woman to feel that way because she lost her daughter. I feel like that's justice. That's her right to feel that way because her loved one was taken away from her.
So I'm mad while I'm listening to you. I'm mad somebody actually put a laughing. Like, I want to know. Like, I just got a little pissed. See how easily I get triggered? Who the fuck was on this damn timeline and actually thought this shit was funny? Really? I want to know, how the hell would you feel if somebody killed a family member of yours? Right. And I'm probably taking it the wrong way. Maybe we said something.
What context are you laughing in? You laughing in what?
Like, laughing in what context? Was it something that we said that seemed to come off funny? I mean, maybe I should have asked it like that. But this is really
what the hell is funny?
I'm just really trying to figure it out right now. Like, yeah, what content was this funny? I mean, I'm just curious. I don't mean no harm, but if somebody,
I want to see who the hell put that.
Really,
I'm gonna call your ass out.
Thought so that it was funny. Even what we were saying, I don't know. This doesn't have to be anybody I'm related to, but just the fact that this young lady lost her life and she has a child that don't have a mother anymore just really bothers me. So I'm just really trying to figure it out, what was funny.
I don't know who did it.
But
unless you hit it by accident, it was Shauna, because sometimes that happened too when I could be.
Okay, so I'll be woman enough that if you did hit it by accident, okay. But that just really kind of triggered me real quick there, because this is real life shit that's going on in this world.
If you hit it by accident. Now,
If you hit
I
it by
wanna know
accident,
why the hell you think
okay,
this is funny?
I'll chuck it up my bag. But if you seriously thought anything in this conversation was funny, wow, I like to see how anybody would react if they lost their loved one.
So the person that had the emoji, the icon, the laughing icon. So how would you feel if somebody took your damn loved one? How would you feel?
Okay, I'm gonna move forward to the next. I'm gonna move forward.
I'm just saying.
For me, because I'll stay on it and stay pissed off. So I'm gonna just, however it happened, accident or by on purpose, I'm gonna just move forward.
But like you said, and I'm gonna say this too. If it happened by accident, cause that's happened to me too. Like I've been on Facebook where if I go on someone post and sometimes when you moving those icons, sometimes they don't go to the one you're trying to hit, and actually did hit a one that you really want to hit, and it's the wrong thing. That can happen too. But if that's the case, yeah, we can take it to the chin and apologize. So now I'll just leave it at that. We can move forward. I don't want us to. Yeah, you're right. Because I don't want us to dwell on it. It's good. It's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good.
So, what's the next topic we're going to talk about? I believe.
We talk. I'll let you talk.
You don't have to, just because you know.
No, I mean that's your.
Okay.
That's your. That's your state right there. You know, that hit close to home.
Yeah, it did. It did.
I'll let you talk about that one, and then I'll just talk about the last one.
So the next topic of conversation we're going to talk about is the Philadelphia student recovers from first-degree burns after classmate sets her hair on fire. Another just stupid. This is just stupid. This comes from the AtlantaBlackStar.com, okay? AtlantaBlackStar.com. So an 8th grader at Samuel Gumper's school in Philly said she thought she was going to die after her bully lit her hair on fire. Nevaeh Robinson, 13, suffered from first-degree burns and currently wears a scarf to cover the bald patches around her headline. I'd rather have her here with no hair than not here, the student's mother, Tanya Robinson, told CBS Philly. Nevaeh said she experiences head pain from the back all the way up to the front and wept as she recounted on October 16th when the incident took place. The student said she was outside standing at her bus stop last Tuesday when a male classmate came over to her and set her hair on fire with a lighter. Other kids stood around laughing as she strenuously tapped her head to put out the fire. When it happened, I panicked real fast because I thought I was going to die because it burnt my hair so fast, said Nevaeh. The student's mother said she called the police as soon as her daughter came home and took her to the hospital. She added that this isn't the first time a bully has physically assaulted her daughter. 2 years ago, Nevaeh was harassed at another school and had her thumb broken. I've spoken to the school district. I've spoken to the principal at school. Tanya told the news station, I want explosion. I want expulsion. Excuse me. Let me say that again. I want expulsion if you're setting kids on fire. She added that that the student responsible for assaulting her daughter should be kicked out of the school. The Philadelphia School District has yet to issue a statement. Philadelphia police are currently investigating the incident, and medical officials say Nevaeh is lucky to be alive. The doctor told me her hairstyle saved her life, Tanya noted, which is her mother. Had it been different, she might not be here. Tanya said she plans to begin homeschooling her daughter in a couple of weeks. She also hopes the bully attending Gumper's school is reprimanded. This shouldn't be swept under the rug, said Tanya. So again, another situation where, and more than likely, okay, before some people be on this damn race bullshit, this probably was a little black kid. But regardless of what the color was, right is right and wrong is wrong, and it was dead ass wrong. This little girl who's 13 could have lost her life.
But that bully that set the girl hair on fire needs some damn help.
Oh,
That's
definitely.
some deep-rooted issues.
It's
right
deep-rooted issues.
What would bring your mind to even want to set a girl hair on fire in the first place?
This little girl's
Where her
hair.
parents at?
Her parents are
the bully.
His parents. Where's his parents?
Where's the bully parents at?
Probably in denial. And what's
going on in the household?
Right.
For that young
for that little boy
to
act out like that. Right. And
that makes no sense.
This little girl, my heart go out because I've been bullied before at a young age. Okay, not to this extreme, but I have been bullied from the age of 6. And it's still going on. It's just the years. It still goes on. This is not the first time, as I had read. This is the second time. She got a thumb broken at another school. So parents need to be held responsible for it. Definitely. And I believe that this child, yes, should be reprimanded. But disciplinary action because this is just the world that we live in is
demonic.
Sick.
It's demonic people. And I'm just call for what it is. Demonic people.
And the school district too. I don't give a damn if it's in Philly or not. Y'all dumbasses need to definitely be held as well. Y'all don't want to talk about it. You want to sweep it under the rug like her mother said. You don't want to deal with it. Again, they probably would have to have a cell jail already prepared for me because there is no way I'm just, and I know we're all supposed to act rational, but who the hell, this is her child. Yeah, I may come off in a different type, but when you mess with minds, I don't give a damn how much they get on my nerves from time to time. But when it comes to mine and you doing something, it's a different face. My heart go out to this girl. 13 years old. She could have lost her life because this child decided he just wanted to come over to her and set her hair on fire. And no one is being held accountable for it.
And the thing about this is though, with these elementaries and even high school, because it happens in high school too. But if we speak of elementaries, kids think this is normal, bullying somebody. Even in high school, they thought that was normal. Hell, when going to black school, they thought that was normal. Oh, you got to toughen up.
Right.
Why are you getting so sensitive over someone bullying you? You need to get a little hard, have some heart, like. But at the same time, everybody don't deal with that kind of abuse the same.
Right.
Some people really take that somewhere else. Like they take that literal. Like everybody's mental is not the same. It's not built the same. Some people, if they get bullied, they just, shrug it off like it's another day. And you don't hear about it. They don't tell their parents or whatever. Not that that's healthy either. Then you have some young kids who, when they get bullied, they either commit suicide or they shoot down the person that's bullying them. Or it could be more than one bully.
It could be more, right.
And they're taking it to their own hands. And people might say, oh, is it really that serious to hurt the bullies? Maybe to them it is.
Maybe to them. Right.
Get them off them. Leave them alone. Why are they doing that anyway? Because I went through that, in school. Of form of bullying, I went through that. Like me and my siblings went through that, but specifically because I have a special needs brother, he went through that the most because he was different from all the other kids. Feel me? And even him being in classes with other special needs kids, and they used to experience that too. But just as far as my brother's experience, and I will witness it. Kids would, hit them on the head, throw stuff at them, call them names, try to fight them. It was just a lot. And me and my other siblings, we would have to defend him. If we was around to see it, we would have to defend him. And there's other times we couldn't because, we wasn't around at that time. But the fact that these kids go to these schools and do that is it's just unfortunate.
It is.
And I mean, it's got to stop at some point, man. You gotta let people live, man. Like, why are you so worried about picking on somebody? What is that about? Now, someone whoop you up in your ass, now you mad.
Yeah, right. And I thought quite a bit.
Parents take it to their own hands too now.
Oh, definitely.
It can escalate.
Right.
You know, if one of the kids getting bullied and the parents, they coming in fighting the kids or the kids in high school. They don't care. You know?
They don't.
I know people like, well, let the kids handle their business. No, that's not how all parents are gonna act. And they feel like if someone is if it's harm being caused to their child, yeah, they're gonna react. Duh. That's just a natural thing as a parent. Like you just said. If someone
I'm a little guilty. I'm a little guilty.
But if someone go off on your kids, you defending them, right?
Oh, yes, honey.
Exactly.
Yes. I'm a little
guilty.
There's
no wrong way to deal with it.
Yeah.
Everybody doing it. I'm just saying in general, everybody deals with things
differently. Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying. But we got to draw the line of disrespecting people and let them have their space. Because so much going on in the world and they deal with so much, and adding that on just makes it worse. We have to find ways to stop this bullying. It just got to be ways.
And I definitely believe, like you said, Uno, that it is something that child is seeing or witnessing or hearing at home. I do believe that. And then they take that because they may not. They internalize that because maybe it's getting done to them at home. Maybe they're being verbally, emotionally, or physically abused at home.
Or so see one of their other siblings,
or see one of their other siblings, or their parent, one of their parents. Abused in some form of way. So they're, like you say, internalize that. Then when they get out around their other peers, they could be being destructive as well. So they lash out on one of their peers, right? And so, you know, I grew up as an only child. I was bullied. Had dogs, had this one little boy have his dog, like I've said before, chase me faithfully every day. I was told to walk down one side of the street. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and I internalized that and really couldn't voice it to my parent. And I'm not blaming my mother. No way. Let me just make that clear. I'm not blaming my mother because I didn't voice it. I grew up very shy, timid, didn't know how to defend myself and things of that nature. Then I get chased by a dog, and then once I get to the bus stop, you know, I'm getting bullied by my peers at, you know, from school because I dressed a certain way, looked a certain way, spoke a certain way when I did speak, and they just bothered me until the bus came, bothered me when I got on the bus like it was a everyday cycle, 5 days a week thing. And I could have lashed out, and who's to say if I didn't have thoughts of wanting to lash out. I mean, I can even remember this one guy, I think his name is Eddie, if I'm right. I don't know what's up with Eddie. No disrespect, don't really care at this point, but I can remember him. He was one of those ones who bullied me to the point I ran as fast as I can, didn't know where to run, but I wound up running to a house. Nobody answered, ran behind the house, and he kicked my ass. I was young. I was 6, 7 years old. But, you know, to say today, I don't accept that. I've had my share of experiences like we all have. But today, I don't accept that. Okay, I don't accept that for myself. I don't accept that even for my adult kids, and I'm sure they can handle their own selves. And I can remember having some situations even when they was going to school, and I'm ready to want to fight the kid, fight the mother, fight anybody that was in the house. Yes, I was that type of chick, okay, that type of parent. Okay, especially if it wasn't my kids' fault. And I've even told my kids, and they may not remember, like I've told my kids in front of the house where we live, like I can remember a situation's about to go down, and I said, if you don't go out there, if you win or lose, if you don't stand up and fight for yourself, I'm gonna kick your ass. So I let them throw down right in front of the house. Yep, sure did. I'm a different type of person.
But that's how it was back in the day, though.
Right.
Your discipline that you did for raising your children, they did that back in the day, even when I was growing up. You could not come back home talking about, I got my butt whooped, or I ain't
Right.
fight,
Or I didn't fight.
Well,
Right.
They're like, what? No, you gonna go back and go fight.
And I couldn't do that when I was being raised. So I took a lot. But again, today, through having kids and going through life experiences, that I promise you, people, without a fight will not happen with me. You just, and my heart, when I hear stories like that, okay, and let me just say, even if it was a little white kid, it's wrong, okay? Nobody, wrong is wrong. Period. This bullying shit has to stop. And parents,
people are losing their lives over bullying.
Right. These young kids, 13 and even younger,
are
taking their own lives.
Yep.
So it needs to stop. And parents, yes, do need to be held accountable, as the child needs to be accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like it's just, people can't accept differences, or these children are learning this through their parents to act a certain, to respond to other people who are different from you, terrorize or torture them, because that's what it is.
And also with the peer pressure that's in these schools,
the peer pressure.
Even when I was growing up,
me too.
You growing up, a lot of times it might not be in those situations at home. It could just be they try, the bullies that fit in with all the other kids because they're normal.
Cliques, right. If you're not wearing the name brand shoes or the name brand clothes or don't fit in, you're an outcast. So they wanna bully you.
Right.
Oh yes, I remember that. Mm-hmm. I remember that. Because
you're passionate tonight, ain't you?
I am. I didn't realize. I know. I didn't realize how this was going to affect me until we started talking.
Go ahead. I'm listening to you. I'm gonna pick with you like you pick. It's okay. My mouth
it's okay. I know. But yeah, it's my heart. Yeah, it's just crazy because when
I've been through that too.
Right.
So I know.
And I was a special need kid too. So and they was aware of that.
Yeah.
Right. They knew.
But if
I used to ride on
special needs,
man, because I used to ride on those the short bus. The short bus. I sure did. Yeah. I was deemed as being special need, or as they said it back then, I was retarded. Right?
Because they didn't have an actual word for it.
Right. You
no
just
politically correct.
Right.
Word.
I was just retarded, and so was the same ones that was bullying me was on that bus with me. Right. But they fit in a clique.
Yeah.
And when you young like that, you don't understand all that terminology or understand what it all means or whatever. You just you young, you want to go to school, you want to play with the kids, and do what you do.
Right, as a kid.
You don't be thinking about all that.
Right.
And I've been special need up to what grade? Probably the sixth grade. I say about 6th, no more than 8th. So by the time I got to a high school, that didn't follow me anymore or whatever. Or if it did, I really don't remember. But I remember as the younger grades, I was deemed as retarded because then they had our schools were broken up in different sections. Like 5th and 6th grade, I went to a separate school, and then from 7th and 8th, there was a school. 7th, 8th. And 9th was a school. Then we went 10th, 11th, and 12th, which is probably different now. But yeah, like it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah.
All of it
is crazy.
All of it's crazy. So we have to learn to deal with one another despite our differences and differentiality. Everyone's their own individual, and learn to respect people. It all comes down to respect. Even our previous topic we just discussed, it all comes down to respecting everybody. So, all right. So, anything else you want to add to this conversation with your passionate self before we move on to the next one?
I know.
You couldn't help yourself.
I couldn't. Certain things trigger me. I'm honest about that. As Uno's passionate, I'm passionate, and that's just that we pick and tease, but we don't mean no harm. We're just passionate about what we talk about.
Right.
So my heart go out. I hope that the little girl continues to heal and gets better. I hope no more harm comes to her. I hope that she doesn't harm herself, because that's a serious thing, like you just said.
Yeah, because
That suicide with younger kids happens more often than we want to think about
and believe.
Yeah,
because not just adults taking their lives, definitely younger kids are taking their lives.
God forbid if a little kid feels that they are part of the LGBT community, transgender and things of that nature. That's a whole nother battle.
Right.
Whole nother battle. Right.
Ooh. All right.
Okay.
So our last topic of tonight, which is the Pittsburgh shooting at the synagogue. Okay. Of course, this happened around October, so this was last month. I'm gonna be reading from abcnews.go.com. This article was published October 28th of this year. The headline reads, Pittsburgh synagogue mass shooting claims 11 lives, 4 officers among multiple wounded officials. Okay, now we ain't got time for videos to be popping up.
No. These pop-ups is off the chain.
11 people were killed and at least 6 more were injured, including 4 police officers, when a gunman opened fire at a Pittsburgh synagogue Saturday morning. Authorities said. Interested in Pittsburgh synagogue shooting. So they do have more on the synagogue shooting. They have a link here. It's highlighted in orange on country. Okay. So
orange. I'm sorry. We do this. She's from the South. It's all good. Go ahead.
If you want more information, just click on Pittsburgh synagogue shooting for other things concerning this story. But I'm just going to read what they have here for this particular headline. It's a very horrific crime scene. Allegheny Public Safety Director Wendell Hisrich told reporters during the press conference Saturday afternoon. It's one of the worst that I've seen. Police responded earlier Saturday to reports of active gunfire at the Tree of Life or El Simcha congregation where a service was taking place, Hisrich said. The suspect is in custody and has been taken to the hospital, Hisrich said. 8 men and 3 women were killed in the shooting, according to a criminal complaint. One of the 4 officers is in critical condition. The shooter has been identified as Robert Bowers, who is 46 years old and lives in Pittsburgh. Bowers used at least 1 assault rifle in the shooting and had 3 handguns on him. Bowers was charged with 29 federal counts late Saturday, including several hate crimes. He is facing 11 counts of obstruction of exercise of religious beliefs resulting in death, 11 counts of use of a firearm to commit murder, 4 counts of obstruction of exercise of religious belief resulting in bodily injury to a public safety officer, and 3 counts of use and discharge of a firearm during and in relation to a crime of violence. The 4 counts of bodily injury to a public safety officer stem from the police officers injured in the shooting. Bowers was known to the FBI before Saturday. Bob Jones, the agency's special agent in charge, said during a press conference Saturday afternoon. He is believed to have acted alone, Jones added. He suffered multiple gunshot wounds and was in fair condition at a local hospital, Hisrich said. In addition to the federal charges, Bowers was also charged with 35 state offenses, including 11 counts of criminal homicide, 6 counts of criminal attempted homicide, 6 counts of aggravated assault, and 13 counts of ethnic intimidation. The congregants were attending a baby naming ceremony in the synagogue, Pennsylvania's state attorney general told the Associated Press. There were no children among the dead, Hisrich said. Jennifer Patty said her daughter, who was staying at a friend's house near the synagogue, heard rapid gunfire. Her and her friend, they ran downstairs and barricaded themselves in the basement, she told ABC affiliate WTAE in Pittsburgh. Since the incident happened at a synagogue, it is being treated as a federal hate crime and will be handled by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, short for FBI, with the assistance of local, county, and state police, he added. The Anti-Defamation League said it was unconscionable for Jews to be targeted during worship on the Sabbath morning. This is the deadliest attack on the Jewish community in the history of the United States, it said in the statement. First responders prevented the shooting from becoming a worse tragedy, and the injured have been taken to 3 area hospitals with level 1 trauma centers, Hisrich said. Without their courage, this tragedy would have been far worse, said Hisrich said. Rabbi Alvin Birkin, who was not at the synagogue at the time, told ABC News he was stunned and sorry to hear of the shooting. He said he stayed home from services Saturday morning because his wife was sick and that he has not heard from the friends who were in the building. Birkin, who lives nearby the synagogue, said police officers came to his door and told him to stay inside his home. He described the neighborhood of Squirrel Hill, where the synagogue is located, as a very Jewish neighborhood. Is that true? Squirrel Hill?
Well, I don't know.
That's a Jewish community?
I'm guessing that it is in Pittsburgh, so I'm not quite familiar with Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Philly. I'm from Philly, so I'm not sure.
But you haven't been too much.
But I haven't been really. I think I went through Pittsburgh like a while ago for something totally different. So I'm not going to say it. Probably is, because Pittsburgh has advanced. So I don't know.
Gotcha.
So probably.
Gotcha. The reason why I asked, because I like to question a lot of things, and when the major media outlets release a lot of stories. And particular things they touch on, whether it's the suspect, the area, like, because they can say it's something and it's not when they ask actual people who either witness it, or if it took place in this area, is that how the area is for real? Like they just said here, Squirrel Hill, they said it's a very Jewish neighborhood. So is it really a Jewish neighborhood, or are they just saying that?
Right. Right. I mean, I get you. I'm not sure, so I'm not going to say yeah and nay and be wrong and make myself look stupid. So got to do some more research. But for now, we're going to go with it, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Funny how they start this Jewish.
Right. I know someone that's from Pittsburgh. I may have to just text.
Ask her.
I'm going to have to text her and ask her, since she's from Pittsburgh. Is that true facts?
Right. Facts.
Hashtag facts.
So yeah, they say it's a Jewish community. There's absolutely no crime. It's an amazing neighborhood, Birkin said. It's hard to believe it's a city neighborhood. It's dominated by the Jewish community, centered 4 blocks away by kosher bakeries, all kinds of Jewish gift shops, bookshops, and number of synagogues. There's one major synagogue, but there are at least 5 other synagogues within 2 miles of where we are, he said. When the government opened fire at the synagogue, law enforcement officers, including agents from the FBI and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, short for ATF, swiftly responded to the scene. The suspect was apprehended a short time later. The synagogue is a conservative Jewish congregation, according to its website. So if you want to check out the website, you're more than welcome to. It's in this article. And there was a morning Shabbat service scheduled from 9:45 a.m. to noon. See what we got to go. It's not too bad. All right, I can read the rest of this. Birkin said there are 3 different religious groups that are meeting in our building on Saturday morning with 3 distinct services, estimating that there could have been approximately 75 people in the building at the time. Hisrich declined during the press conference to say how many people were inside at the time. By late Saturday afternoon, with the death toll at 11, President Donald Trump signaled that he would change the tone of his typical rally speeches, telling reporters that tone is very important. He said he was enthusiastic about being on the campaign trail, but that Saturday's mass shooting had changed things. Tonight, I will absolutely change my tone, he said. Earlier, speaking to reporters before boarding a flight to the event in Indiana, Trump called the attack a shame, calling the suspect a wacko and a maniac. He also said the suspect should pay the ultimate price and be subjected to the death penalty. When asked about whether the nation's gun laws should be changed, that's the issue right there. That's the agenda, just so people know, okay? Because this stuff is just happening too obviously, okay? And trying to make it just a race thing between the KKK and the Jewish community. So I see where this is going. Anyway, Trump said the synagogue should have had armed security there. You want protection? They didn't have any protection. They had a maniac walk in, Trump said. The results could have been much better. He said that before getting into office, he would think, what a shame, when incidents like this one unfolded. It's even tougher when you're the president of the United States and you have to watch this thing happen, Trump said. After he arrived Saturday afternoon, the president said the shooter appeared to be an anti-Semitic crime. That is something you wouldn't believe could still be going on, he added. After hinting early in the day that he might cancel Saturday night's rally out of respect for the dead and wounded in Pittsburgh, he ain't gonna do it for black folks and we got shot down. Whatever. He told the crowd that he was inspired to attend the rally by the late New York Yankees owner and friend George Steinbrenner in his resolve for the Yankees to play after the September 11th attacks in 2001. Trump also claimed that the U.S. Stock Exchange remained open, though it was closed for 6 days after the attacks. Vice President Mike Pence offered his condolences on Twitter. If you want to see his tweet, you can go to it. It was dated October 27th, 2018. I mean, not that you would give a damn. I mean, who cares about Trump and Pence? I mean, but if you're KKK, white supremacists, well, white stepchildren, or a coon, then you can go check it out. I'm just kidding. But for real, though. But if you want to check it out, see if they actually said it in general, you can go check it out on Twitter. Praying for the fallen, the injured, and all the families impacted, and our courageous first responders, he tweeted Saturday morning, God bless them all. First Lady Melania Trump said her heart breaks over the shooting and that the violence needs to stop. She also has a tweet on Twitter, dated October 27th, 2018. You want to check it out? Go right ahead. Whoever wants to. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf tweeted that he was headed to Pittsburgh. We are providing local first responders with whatever help they need, he wrote. So he also has a tweet. He's on his way to Pittsburgh. He was headed to the City of Tree of Life Synagogue. He said the suspect is in custody, and he's providing local first responders help if people needed it. By Saturday evening, residents of the Pittsburgh apartment building where buyers lived who had been evacuated were allowed back into their apartments. One neighbor described the suspect to ABC News as a quiet loner who lived alone and didn't stick out as any sort of danger. New York City Police Department and the Los Angeles Police Department said that they are deploying extreme teams to synagogues in those cities as well. You don't see them doing it for black churches. NYPD is deploying heavy weapons teams, including the officers from the... See, I just pointed that agenda out too. That's 3. Including the officers from the Critical Response Command and the Strategic Response Team to houses of worship across the city, the department said in a statement. Additionally, sector cars and every command across New York City will be making additional visits to ensure the safety of all our residents. Currently, there is no nexus to New York, but these steps are being taken until further information is learned about the events in Pittsburgh by the NYPD. Police in Washington, D.C. are also on alert. Lastly, we have reached out to Jewish community leaders and have directed officers to pay special attention to synagogues until further notice, a spokesperson for the D.C. Police Department said. So America's turned into a martial law country. They take away people's rights to, but not only protect themselves, but be invaded by the government. And just limiting you to go about your everyday life. I mean, you having the police department of New York and Los Angeles are deploying extra teams to these synagogues and to Jewish communities who have just synagogues with heavy weapons. They have heavy weapons team. They're acting like this is a 9/11 terrorist attack. Like, we gotta have heavy artillery at the synagogue, like something about to go down. Like, there's no need for that. Now they have all this security in schools now too. Like, yeah, this is definitely become a major police state. Just the country itself is coming up a police country where you have no rights and they dictate your life and how you should navigate, just in general. So that's the agenda I see there. So this false flag, and let's not get it twisted, because people did lose their lives in the process of this. Let me make a disclaimer now. Yes, people lost their lives. False flags, people do lose their lives of false flags. However, when they put these stories out, it's not what it seems. I'm not talking about the people who lost their lives. I'm just saying the overall stories that they put out is not what it seems. And what are the agendas? They have an agenda at play here. And it's funny how the Jewish community is being targeted. It's kind of like you want a race war, like, you know, the Europeans versus the Jewish community. You know, the citizens getting their rights taken away as a human being. You know, I mean, it's really the same old thing. It's so predictable. And then the guy that they had used as the scapegoat is the suspect, and he's in custody. But do people really know if that's really the suspect? Because think about it, like the previous false flags that's happened for the past 4 years, there's been witnesses who told you a totally different story from what the media told you. It's the same thing with the Las Vegas shooting. How they said there was actual witnesses who saw multiple shooters. They didn't say one shooter. They said multiple shooters. And they said it wasn't from the guy that they saw on the screen. That was on TV. They said it was actually your own U.S. government doing it. In military suits. Or even previous false flags, there's been witnesses that said they saw this person and that person, and now the person they said that's on TV. They said no, we saw something else. And it's funny how when the real story comes out, they're shut up. Like, you don't hear from them. The real witnesses, they disappear. However, whatever form that is, doesn't really matter. Paid off or killed or whatever. So yeah, there's definitely some agendas I see here at hand, a few. I mean, it's really too obvious at this point, because we're in the age of information. And we also in the age of revelation. So nothing is pulled over our eyes. Everything's revealing itself. You can see it plain as day now. So it's just too obvious. I don't know. What you think about it?
I mean, I definitely believe that some people did lose their lives. That I do believe. But like you said, with the government, anything is impossible. The government is what the government is. That's pretty self-explanatory. If they wanted to annihilate all of us, they could.
They're going to do it anyway.
And yeah, well, they probably.
That's their plan. That's what the Georgia Guidestones is.
And so you just have to. That's why I always say, just be mindful and just keep your ears open and your eyes open and just watch and listen and be observant, because there's truth and then there's things that the government does, and we just have to be mindful, and we have to be prepared. We have to get prepared. I believe that's. So, like you said, there's been situations where people have said that the person who they locked up or the person who they killed really wasn't the one, like what is the word?
They wasn't the suspect at all.
They wasn't the suspect, or they definitely wasn't the mastermind behind it, so to speak. They may have been a part of it, but the real true mastermind, you're probably right, working behind scenes. They never get caught.
Right.
We are definitely in those, and I know it's uncomfortable for individuals. We are definitely in those last days, or I don't know any other word to say, but in those days. And yeah, we just need to be prepared and just be prepared, I'm not saying that you shouldn't live out your life and enjoy and do things. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to make this like a depressing conversation or anything. But you really ought to just be mindful and just, I don't know, just stop sleeping. Because there's a lot of people still sleeping. And we need to move past the we shall overcome, and we need to move past that. Not that that wasn't good for what it was then, but we're in a totally different generation and time, and other things need to a different strategy, I guess I'm trying to say, needs to happen. So I don't know.
No, you're right. I agree. Well, like you said, it's just
know.
being mindful, being aware. Not saying you can't enjoy your life, but also be conscious of what's going on around you as well.
Right, that's it.
Don't
that
stay
was,
in your bubble. Stop
conscious.
staying in your bubble, because when that level of ignorance becomes a factor in your life, that's when you get messed up. That's when everything becomes convoluted. And then when the reality actually hits you, you're not prepared for it. You never want to be caught off guard. The last thing you want is to be caught off guard. I'm not saying, oh, boo-hoo in your chair and, be consumed and all that. No one's saying that. We're just saying, me and Jade are just saying, just be conscious of what's going on.
Yeah, that's that.
Know what's going on in the world, because it's not just about you. Honestly.
Right, and stop believing that everything is false. Like, there's truths. We know that there's truths and lies. Yeah, just research. If you're just that curious, just research it. That's all you have to do.
Right. It's not hard to find.
Don't fall for the BS. All it like just.
We're in the age of information, so there's no excuse at all.
No excuse whatsoever.
Because they're gonna come on a million excuses why they ain't know something. No, right. You need to do your due diligence and find out what's up and what's going on, and go deep if you have to find out the truth that you want to look for. That's all I would say.
Forgive me. Yeah, I mean, I know it's uncomfortable. I get it. Yeah. I definitely get it.
You think we just...
you think this is easy?
Right. Well, we got to face it. We got to talk about it, because guess what? It's at our front doors. It might not be literal, like in your, your face right now, but it's at our front doors. Eventually, it's gonna come in our face. So what you gonna do then? If it's in your face, what you gonna do? Sitting there looking at Real Housewives of Atlanta one day.
Don't talk about that, cause Jamie, honey, he is on his Real House of Atlanta.
I'm just an example. I could have
mojitos or mojitas. I just happen to think about him only because he's back on it now. But yeah, I mean, I think honestly,
and then the military show up at your door. Then what?
And I think and I think different people, and I get it. And this is not no pointing on no fingers or nothing like that. I think humans, people, we escape a lot of things, and we escape it because some of us may not want to deal with what's at hand or what's going to come in the near future. So we escape it with other outlets. And I'm not telling you not to. You do what you do. This for me, it's not a right or wrong.
All good.
It's it's not a right or wrong or whatever, if that's your escape. But I say also, get uncomfortable. And at times and open up your eyes and see some things that is going on in the real life that we live in.
Yeah, there's more to life than drama and tea and all this other stuff that really is not beneficial to nobody.
Because they going through their own demons, honey.
But let's believe they are.
Them reality shows, let me sip on this tea with the dog lover cup.
And let me go back to what I said. They ain't want to see me either with that. You don't know what they had to do to get there. You don't know what they're doing currently to stay there either. Because it's a dark side to entertainment. I hope y'all know that.
Because some of these shows have already admitted, like, what they do, some of it is real and some of it is not. So yeah,
that's
you said,
real
you don't know, like Uno
I'm
said,
just
what they
saying.
had to go through to do what they do currently on these shows. Like,
no one just hand you that. You don't just get handed
what we
that.
see is entertaining, is funny, is get our cocktails out, our coffee, our teas, our whatever, and it's entertaining for us. But behind their closed doors, that the majority of us don't, we not in their closed doors. When these shows are off, we have no idea what darkness they experience.
Right. You don't know what they're going through.
So you can look at it and be entertained. I'm not saying don't do it.
Yeah, because we all been there. Because I remember I used to watch reality shows.
I used to watch a whole lot of reality
shows.
Very entertaining.
Yeah.
Very sad too, especially when you see these grown women and they fighting with each other and their children are experiencing it. That's very disheartening to me, when they climbing on tables, getting just as ratchet. But for a lot of us, it's entertaining. Because it's probably for some of, and I've seen on Facebook, I've seen on social media where people say, yes, I look at these reality shows to escape. Or when they're going through things, they just put their little issues aside and they watch reality shows. And I get it. I'm not knocking whatsoever. Please don't take it for that. I'm just saying, again,
look outside of that sometimes.
Look outside. I like to have balance. I personally don't look at a bunch of reality shows anymore. I probably don't even look at any. If I'm saying a whole bunch, I really don't even look at reality shows anymore. I don't need to, because you good people on social media will keep me updated. So what the hell?
Got a whole bunch of drama on
so
Facebook.
What do I need to find out? Y'all talk about it. So if I happen to run across it on my timeline,
they tell everything.
Right, it's easy to catch up. So I don't personally need to. I watch other things that I like, that are probably strange or weird to other people, but it's okay for me. So it's choice. Okay, choice. So all about choice. So do you just be mindful and, I don't know, have some kind of balance with it. Even if it is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for me to see certain things and or talk about certain things, but I push through.
That's all you can do.
Push through.
It could, that way, in the long run, you're able to handle it better. As opposed to you having this ignorance, in a state of ignorance, and nothing revolves around that, your world, and then it hits you, you don't know how to react to it. That's not a good place to be in. So that's good.
So I want to speak briefly, hopefully it's not too long, about victims of synagogue shooting remembered in Pittsburgh Park, from the StanfordAdvocate.com. Nearly 2 weeks after a gunman shot to death 11 people inside a Pittsburgh synagogue, their lives were remembered on that Friday with a moment of silence and a rally for peace in downtown Park. Okay, rabbis from all three congregations, whose members were meeting in the Tree of Life Synagogue building at the time of the October 27th shooting, were among a few hundred people who attended the event at Point State Park. The Pittsburgh's finest, the Tree of Life, Jeffrey Myers, by first responders. If it wasn't for Pittsburgh's finest, I wouldn't be standing here addressing you today. Myers, who played Friday, what was the deadliest attack on Jews in U.S. history, then handled funerals for his congregants. Actor Michael Keaton, wearing a Pittsburgh Pirates ball cap,
is he from Philly?
emceed. I don't know if he's from Pennsylvania.
Well, Pennsylvania, man.
I'm not sure about Michael Keaton.
Oh.
Not sure. Not going to say no. emceed the event that was described as a gathering of compassion, unity, and love. Okay, so he is from the Pittsburgh area, because it says Keaton grew up in the area. So he's from the
Pennsylvania folks.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. This one really hurts. When it happens at a place of worship, that pain runs really, really deep, Keaton said, calling Pittsburgh a tough, tough city. I have been familiar with once upon a time Pittsburgh, not to say it's not now, but Pittsburgh was one of those cities that was, hood, tough. Yeah. And I know that they have made some progression from my understanding. So Robert Bowers, 46-year-old truck driver, is accused of the shooting rampage that also injured 6. He had pleaded not guilty to federal charges. Authorities said he raged about Jews during and after the attack. The mayor also remembered victims of recent shootings in Louisville, Kentucky, a yoga studio in Tallahassee, Florida, and a bar on Wednesday in Thousand Oaks, California. The shooting was our moment of broken glass, said Reverend Liddy Barlow, Executive Director of Christian Associates of Southwest Pennsylvania. But this time, neighbors did not stand aside. First responders did not stand aside. Christians did not and will not stand aside. Also, Oscar winning actor Tom Hanks took the stage with Joanne Rogers, widow of Fred Rogers, host of the PBS children's television series Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. A visitor will know how great a city this is because Pittsburgh, said Hank, who plays Fred Rogers in an upcoming film. He said the city has shown the rest of the nation and the world what good comes when the people of the Allegheny and the Monongahela love their neighbors with no exception. Okay, I'm just reading this a little bit. Tom Murrin said he drove down to the rally from the town of Mars in neighboring Butler County to stand in solidarity with the Jewish community. I think there is something to be pulled out of a tragedy. Standing against hatred is good to see, he said. I don't think you ever recover from something like this, but maybe we can lead in that way in trying to make a difference. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf called the shooting an attack on humanity. We have a lot of work to do to combat hate, whether it's on the internet or in the shadows. Our diversity is our strength. Spread love, be kind, take care of each other. I know how tight-knit this community is, said U.S. Rep. Connor Lamb. As he was leaving the rally, we showed the nation exactly who we are. We are going to show the country a model on how to recover. So, whether what we believe or not, there's unity, what they need to do, and it's a start. It's a start.
Yeah.
It's a start. You know what I'm saying? Because again, people definitely had lost their lives.
Yeah.
So
it's tragic. So let's get it. Again, disclaimer. Let's not get it twisted. People really did lose their lives. But we also got to see the other side of it. Because again, everything ain't what it seems. What the media feeds you. You can't believe everything they feed you. You have to question everything. Find out what's really the truth. Differentiating between fact and fiction.
True. So these were good topics, as they always are. But go ahead. No, I'm just speaking.
Oh, go ahead.
No. No. I was just saying these
I
are
want you
good
to get
topics.
it out. I don't want you to forget it.
No.
Go ahead.
These. No, that's all I was saying. That these are good topics. These are thought provoking, and we shouldn't always see things one sided.
You gotta see multi-dimensional.
Absolutely.
There's always different sides to a story.
Absolutely.
And it's us as human beings to not be ignorant to that. You should always fact check something anyway.
Right.
So hey, or at least do your due diligence, the research, to see if this is really what it is. And not just allow a person to tell you anything. It's your job to go behind them and see if what they're saying is the truth or is correct, or what they're saying away.
Yeah. We didn't make these stories up. We just gathering or collecting information and sharing it with you guys. Whether you believe it or not, that is completely up to you. It's all good.
I suggest you research then if you don't believe it. I mean, ain't nothing else to say to that.
Absolutely.
Anything else you like that?
No.
Oh, there she go.
Yeah.
There she go.
Yeah. Whatever. Can you just read on now?
All right, so the last article I have for tonight is coming from CNN.com. This was published October 28th, of course. The headline reads, mass shooting at Pittsburgh synagogue. Another headline under that would be, Rosenthal brothers were inseparable and looked out for each other. Cecil and David.
Inside joke.
Yeah, inside joke. Cecil and David Rosenthal, the brothers killed in the Pittsburgh shooting, were members of Achieva, a center in Pittsburgh for the disabled, and were recipients of the center's residential and employment services. Cecil's laugh was infectious. David was so kind and had such a gentle spirit, said Chris Scoff, Achieva's vice president of residential support. Together they looked out for one another. They were inseparable. Most of all, they were kind, good people with a strong faith and respect for everyone around. Another one under that, elderly couple killed in shooting were loving and giving and kind. So basically, these are all, pretty much all of it is all people who were killed, or like the synagogue churches and people who knew the people that lost their lives in this tragedy are speaking their final words and giving their feelings on what happened to their loved ones. Elderly couple killed in shooting were loving and giving and kind. Bernice and Sylvan Simon, the elderly married couple killed on Saturday, were kind, generous, and good-hearted individuals.
So we're hoping that you guys can hear us. Our first video, our podcast of part 1 cut off. So we want to bring you real briefly what we were talking about in case you did not catch it from the part 1 podcast.
Yeah, right. I was talking about the mass shooting at Pittsburgh synagogue, but this is referring to those who lost their lives in this tragedy. So there's people that knew the victims that lost their lives. There's people speaking out, giving their final words, and also their feelings about the people that lost their lives in the synagogue church shooting. You want me to start all the way over? Okay. So I will start all the way over with this article. Forgive us. It's the Wi-Fi. Disconnected. Things happen.
The weather. Yes, it's crazy. But we move forward.
Yes, moving forward. Now, before I start, man, we looking at each other quick like, what the hell?
We got a little stuck on stupid real quick, like looking at each other like, what are we supposed to do? What happened? We started running our yips over here, and it just disconnected us. So you see part 1, whatever you didn't catch, we apologize in advance, but we're going to try to give you this last of part 2.
Yeah, part 2. We're done for tonight. This is it. I ain't doing it with this Wi-Fi. I ain't doing it.
I ain't doing it with this weather, this Wi-Fi, none of it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the first headline, Rosenthal brothers were inseparable and looked out for each other. Cecil and David Rosenthal, the brothers killed in the Pittsburgh shooting, were members of Achiever, a center in Pittsburgh for the disabled, and were recipients of the center's residential and employment services. Cecil's laugh was infectious. David was so kind and had such a gentle spirit, said Chris Skopoff, Achiever's vice president of residential support. Together they looked out for one another. They were inseparable. Most of all, they were kind, good people with a strong faith and respect for everyone around. Second headline. Elderly couple killed in shooting were loving and giving and kind, and that's where I got cut off at. Bernice and Sylvan Simon, the elderly married couple killed on Saturday, were kind, generous, and good-hearted individuals, their neighbor Joe Stepaniak said. Bernice, 84, and Sylvan, 86, were from Wilkinsburg and had lived next door to Stepaniak for close to 40 years. They were the sweetest people you can imagine, Stepaniak said. They wanted to give back to people and be kind. They always tried to look on the good side and help out in the community, here and in the Jewish community. They were loving and giving and kind, gracious and dignified, she said. Those are two people who should be memorialized, Stepaniak said. I want to focus on them. Third headline. Shooting victim was a Jewish doctor with a fondness for bow ties. Jerry Rabinowitz, a 66-year-old victim of the synagogue shooting, was a primary care physician in Pittsburgh for many years. He was a kind, joyful man. I always enjoyed sharing patients with him because he liked to teach and did it with a smile, said Dr. Adam Rothschild. Yeah, that's what kind of took me for a loop there. When I seen that last name, I'm kind of like, But anyway, who worked with Rabinowitz during his residency. We were both active in our synagogues, and we always had a lot to talk about. Rabinowitz's nephew, Avashul Ostrin, posted a tribute to his uncle on Facebook and focused on his smile and his fondness for bow ties. He always wore a bow tie. There's just something about guys who wear bow ties, something youthful, something fun, and that is a word that definitely embodied my Uncle Jerry. Fun. You know how they say there are people who just lighten up a room? You know that cliche about people whose laugh is infectious? That was Uncle Jerry. It wasn't a cliche, it was just his personality. His laughter with his chest heaving up and down with a huge smile on his face. That was Uncle Jerry. And that bow tie that you know made people smile. You know made his patients more at ease. What is this, third one? Yes, well, the fourth one. Artists behind revamped Steelers logo. I wanted it to be of resiliency and hope. Tom Hindis sat down shortly after the shooting and began to doodle a revamped Pittsburgh Steelers logo with the Star of David, substituting for the team's yellow star-like design. It's paired with the phrase "stronger than hate." The image has quickly become a symbol of solidarity and strength after the deadly attack, although that's not the root of the symbol. But okay, I will continue. Hindis said he was inspired by the shooting and by a friend being the victim of anti-Semitic comments a few days ago. Collectively, those events drove me to make a message, Hindis told CNN. I wanted to be of resiliency and hope. It was private at first, but friends urged me to make the post public as it resonated with them. In a Facebook post, Hindis explained what the symbol meant to him. Before it was the logo of a globally popular football team, the three diamonds were the seal of a product which helped develop the foundation of many cities across the globe. Yeah, he should elaborate further on that, but okay. Like Pittsburgh and its residents, still is strong, he posted on Facebook. We were strong before the tragedy. A tragedy like this just makes us stronger. Just like you can't break steel, you can't break the resiliency of a Pittsburgher. We are stronger than hate. Hindis said he doesn't want credit or accolades for the picture. Use it, share it. This is an image for Pittsburgh and those who love Pittsburgh, he said. And last and final one, Iranian immigrant created a GoFundMe campaign after the synagogue attack. Shay Qatari woke up in his Jewish friend's couch to the devastating news. A mass shooting at a Pittsburgh synagogue had left 11 people dead and several others injured. She told me what happened and she was just broken, Qatari told CNN, seeing how upset she was. I wanted to donate to the congregation, but Qatari, a 29-year-old Iranian immigrant and graduate student in Washington, D.C., didn't have much to give. I thought to myself, I could donate $18 or $36, something like that, but that wouldn't make a huge impact, he said. If I did something like this, maybe it could go viral and have a huge impact, he added. By this, he meant start a GoFundMe campaign. So far, it's raised more than $300,000. And that was the story from CNN.com. There's a couple of standout words in there that are questionable, but other than that, it's definitely a tragedy. So again, as human beings, it all comes back to respecting one another and them being different. Everyone is different, and we have to really be mindful of the things we do to each other. This is not about race on this one. It's just as a humanity, humanly speaking, you have to respect each other as human beings, no matter what race, creed, background, color, religious background we come from. We all don't have the same ideas, views, upbringing or anything. So we have to be more mindful and have more empathy and sympathy for people. Because, I mean, when you're going outside of those boundaries, yeah, things do escalate and tragic things happen. So let's respect each other, people. We have to. This world is already dark, as if we need more dark energy.
Yeah, absolutely feel where you're coming from. In addition to, it's definitely we are in a spiritual warfare. So it doesn't matter wherever you at this point, wherever you come from, wherever you follow, or whatever you believe. Like we are also, in addition to that spiritual warfare, and we need to get ourselves together.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It would be nice to put aside hate and racism and things of that nature, and it would be nice to know again that all lives matter, and it would be nice to agree to disagree without having to become violent, whether it's kill somebody or seriously hurt someone. It would be nice, but the real reality and real world of this is that it probably won't happen in this lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the next lifetime, but I don't see it. So I try to be as humble as I can, but not be made a fool of. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Keep myself aware and knowledgeable and as conscious as I can, but also to defend myself if need be.
Yeah,
because as we've said before, we are not our ancestors, and much respect and homage paid to them.
But we're in a different time.
Right?
Yeah.
We are in a different time.
And I feel like a lot of our their spirits live through us.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We just handle it different now. So.
Right. So.
Not going for nobody's mess. Okay.
Not the foolery, honey.
Nah. None of that.
Not the foolery, but
that's it though.
That is it. This was another great topic, as they all are, as uncomfortable as it can be for me to talk about it or to even share from personal experience, whether it comes personally from me or someone that I know personally. To me, it's just another form of healing and learning how to move forward. And, for those that are, like-minded, it's cool. For those that disagree, I mean, it's all good too.
Yeah.
It's all good either way. And like you said, we are all different. We don't have to agree, but you have to respect.
Right.
I demand respect. Yeah, I do. I demand respect. As you want respect, I want respect.
Yeah.
So, but thank you guys for
Appreciate you guys.
joining us.
Thank you for
this is our brief part 2 of part 1. We got technical difficulties, weather, Wi-Fi, all of it. But enjoy it. Enjoy the replays that you're going to receive.
I'm gonna botch this all together anyway.
Well, cool. Listen to it, like it, share it, support it, make it go viral. Leave your comments even after this live. Leave your comments. It's okay.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know about no damn laughing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't put no. Yeah, don't
do the emoji laughing. I don't know what that was about, but okay. But yeah, hatred we don't tolerate. Yeah, but whatever. But yeah.
I couldn't see who was laughing.
I couldn't see who was laughing either.
I'm gonna try to find out though.
But yeah, thank you guys.
Troll, so.
I know you a troll.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. Again, thank you, Jamie. It was another lady that was on there.
Thank you.
It was Bree, and it was another person that was on there as well. I can't remember, but thank you, ma'am, for.
Thank you, all you guys, for tuning in.
Yes,
thank you so
much. Definitely. Enjoy the rest of your night, or wherever you are at globally. As I always say, be good to yourself. Take care of yourself. Self-care is a necessity, not a choice. It is a necessity.
Yes.
And always be good to yourself and have a better, awesome tomorrow.
Absolutely. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Take care.